This is going to be Daniel chapter 9 and verse 20. Start with verse 23. The 70 weeks of Daniel. It's not something that we're looking forward to. It's already been fulfilled. So without further ado, this is Daniel chapter 9, and I'm going to start verse, I guess I could start with verse 22. Matter of fact, let's start with verse 20. But the meat and potatoes is going to start at verse 24. It says, "And whiles I was speaking and praying and confessing my sin and the sin of my people Israel, and presenting my supplication before Yahweh my God for the holy mountain of my God. Yea, whilst I was speaking in prayer, even the man Gabriel, whom I had seen in the visions, at the beginning being caused to fly swiftly, touched me about the time of the evening oblation. And he informed me and talked with me and said, O Daniel, I am now come forth to give thee skill and understanding. At the beginning of thy supplications, the commandment came forth, and I am come to show thee, for thou art greatly beloved. Therefore, understanding the matter and consider the vision. 70 weeks are determined upon, I'm going to just read it and then break it down. 70 weeks are determined upon thy people and upon the holy city to finish the transgression and to make an end of sins and to make reconciliation for iniquity and to bring in everlasting righteousness and to seal up the vision and prophecy and to anoint the most holy. Know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and build the Jerusalem unto the Messiah, the prince shall be 7 weeks and 62 weeks. The street shall be built again, and the wall even in troublous times. And after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off, but not for himself, and the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary, and the end thereof shall be with a flood, and the end of the war. Desolations are determined. And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week. And in the midst of the week he shall cause the sacrifice and oblation to cease. And for the overspreading of abominations he shall make it desolate, even until the consummation, and that determined shall be poured upon the desolate." So that's reading it straight. Now reading back on to break it down. It says 70 weeks are determined. Now stop where it says 70 weeks. That is 490 years. A week consists of how many days? 7. So it says 70 weeks. So it's 70 times 7, which is 490 years. How do we equate 70 weeks to 490 years? Let's go to Numbers 14 and verse 34. Or we can go to Genesis 29 and verse 27. But I'm going to go to the one in Numbers 14 and 34. Numbers chapter 14 and verse 34. And it reads, "After the number of the days in which ye search the land, even 40 days, each day for a year, shall ye bear your iniquities, even 40 years, and ye shall know my breach of promise." So we wandered. We was in there for 40 years. Every day represent a year. So that was 40 years. And it's the same if you do 70 times 7, that's 490 days, and you equate that with years. Another witness would be Genesis 29, verse 27 through 28. Not going to jump over there, but feel free to check over there if your heart so desires. Reading on, it says, "Are determined upon thy people and upon thy holy city, to finish the transgressions and to make an end of sins, and to make reconciliation for iniquity, and to bring in everlasting righteousness, and to seal up the vision and prophecy, and anoint the most holy. Know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the commandment," now, the going forth of the commandment, where is that talking about? That's talking about in Ezra chapter 6 verses 1. Or you can go at Ezra 1 and 1 through verse 2. Jump over here and Ezra chapter 1 and verse 1. Ezra chapter 1 and verse 1. "Now in the first year of Cyrus, king of Persia, that the word of Yahweh by the mouth of Jeremiah might be fulfilled, Yahweh stirred up the spirit of Cyrus, king of Persia, that he made a proclamation throughout all his kingdom, and put it also in writing, saying, Thus saith Cyrus, king of Persia, Yahweh God of heaven hath given me all the kingdoms of the earth, and he hath charged me to build him a house at Jerusalem, which is in Judah." So the commandment comes from what? Cyrus first, then Darius, then Artaxerxes. Fast forward to Ezra chapter 6. In verse 1. It says, "Then Darius the king made a decree, and search was made in the house of the rolls, where the treasures were laid up in Babylon. And there was found at Achmetha, in the palace that is in the province of the Medes, a roll, and therein was a record thus written, In the first year of Cyrus the king, the same Cyrus the king made a decree concerning the house of God at Jerusalem. Let the house be built, the place where they offered sacrifice, and let the foundations thereof be strongly laid. The height thereof 80 cubits, and the breadth thereof 80 cubits. So they went back and searched for the scrolls, and there it is. So the going forth of the commandment was to build a house in Jerusalem. So you also can go to Ezra chapter 4 and verse, start with 1 and read through about 23. If you really, you could read the whole book, but for time's sakes, I'm just leaving off on that one. Now, read verse 25. It says, "Know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the commandment to restore, to build Jerusalem unto the Messiah, the prince shall be 7 weeks and 62 weeks. The street shall be built again, and the wall in troublous times." The troublous times is talking about Ezra chapter 4, verses 1 through 7, when they were trying to hinder us while we was building. And after, in verse 26, is talking about the Roman-Jewish wars. "And after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off, but not for himself." Talking about what? Yahweh shall die for the nation of Israel. "And the people of the prince shall and the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary, and the end thereof shall be with a flood. And unto the end of the war desolations. The flood is talking about what? 70 AD. And until the end of the war, it says, until the end of the war, desolations are determined. Those Roman Jewish wars. Verse 27, and he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week. This is talking about the agreement that Rome made. Oh, shoot, 1 second. Oh. Fuck you. All right. Get my bearings back. Okay. Verse 27, he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week. 1 week was 7 years. Agreement that the Rome made with Israel, saying, okay, all right, you know what, y'all can keep your laws. And then what do? They ceased it. They broke it, like they do all covenants they make. Verse 27 again, in the midst of the week he shall cause the sacrifice and oblations to cease, and for the overspreading of abominations talking about what? Matthew 24 verse 15 through 17. He shall make it desolate even until the consummation, and that determined shall be poured upon the desolate. And that's talking about what? 70 AD. So this is not something that pertains to the gutter rats. This is talking about time period that already came to pass. The building of the temple at Jerusalem, it was destroyed by the Babylonians. Then we built it under the Persians. Cyrus the Great gave the commandment to build it. You had people trying to hinder us. Those were the troublous times. And you had a period of time where going and transitioning to the Roman captivity, allowed us to keep the laws for 7 years. Then he stopped and wouldn't let us. Then 70 AD happened. So it's the building that is talking about the construction of the second temple and the destruction of the second temple, to make it as simple as I can. I hope this lesson has been edifying. And on that note, I want to give all praises and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem HaKadosh, that belongs to the elders of G. Master Ruel. Peace, salutations, and shalom.